The Curiosity rover set out to answer a big question.
NASA successfully landed its Perseverance rover on Mars.
NASA's just dropped a bombshell from Mars.
On February 18th, 2021, the Perseverance rover landed on Mars and changed pretty much everything we know about the red planet.
A target of scientific interest well before it landed on Mars.
But just recently, the rover entered a brand new territory and came across something that has left everyone shocked.
Atmospheric systems on Saturn are actually powered by energy from below.
So stay tuned, as in today's video, I'm about to reveal Perseverance's most shocking discovery, yet along with some other crazy space findings. Number 1. Bright Angel. Since the start of this year, NASA's Perseverance rover has been tracing the south side of the Neretva Vallis.
Perseverance has been on the move lately, cruising up the ancient river channel called Neretva Vallis toward the Bright Angel feature.
For those of you who don't know, the Neretva Vallis was once a river that fed the Jezero crater freshwater billions of years ago. But in the distance, Perseverance could see glimmers of its next destination. Bright Angel. Bright Angel is a massive ancient rock formation that's believed to have once submerged under the red planet's huge river. But reaching Bright Angel wasn't exactly a walk in the park. The rover would have to pass through an entire field of boulders, and believe it or not, a lot of minds behind this mission saw it as the end of Perseverance. But instead of making any harsh moves, the operators spent weeks trying to come up with a route that would lead them to the magical land. It was ultimately decided that the rover would be taken through a dune to reach Bright Angel, but even then, there was always a risk of Perseverance getting stuck and the entire mission becoming a failure. But thankfully, when AutoNav took over and started directing the rover through the dune, navigators realized that they weren't big enough to cause any harm. And after several days of covering the harshest terrain, along with discovering a new hill on the red planet, Perseverance finally made it to the promised land. It has officially started analyzing the rocks, and scientists will soon know for sure what this massive river was really like billions of years ago. It's even possible they might discover the very building blocks of life, considering how a lot of data shows Mars had the perfect conditions for prebiotic life around 4.5 billion years ago. But what's even more interesting is while this field will give us a real insight into the planet's wetter past, it might even reveal where these large bodies of water went. I mean, sure, we already know Mars is much smaller than Earth and also has a thinner atmosphere so that water just evaporated. But what if there's more to the red planet than what meets the eye? I guess we'll just have to wait for Perseverance to answer the question on all our minds. Oh, and before we move forward, here's an interesting fact. Did you know the Perseverance has been operational for more than 3 years now, while it was only expected to last for an odd 650 days? Number 2. There's still water. Since we're on the topic of Mars, did you know the red planet already has some water on it? Yep! Not everything has dried up, and as the planet approaches its hotter cycle, astronomers have detected water flowing down on the sides of mountains. It freezes up when the climate cools, and even though water is the basic building block of life, it doesn't exactly hint at an intelligent life form.
Under the Martian soil, it is actually a gathering of lakes. Long story short, Mars had water until it didn't.
Nevertheless, water can still support algae, fungi, or other small organisms, and in a way, all those things are alien. But yeah, all that conventional wisdom about Mars being a dead, barren planet is now out the window after the mind-blowing discovery. Number 3, a diamond pulsar. About 4,000 light-years away from Earth in the Serpens Cauda direction lies PSRJ 1719, 1438b. It's a millisecond pulsar, and what that basically means is it's blasting out radiation across the universe at every single millisecond. It's slightly bigger than Jupiter, but here's the interesting bit. It's predominantly made of carbon.
All suggest it's comprised of carbon.
So in a way, it's a massive diamond, the size of Jupiter just floating in space. Astronomers call it the diamond pulsar, and when you think about it, space just never ceases to amaze you. I mean, a massive diamond floating in the universe shooting out radiation. That's crazy. Number 4, lightning in space. Did you know there are lightning and electrical storms on Saturn and Mars? Prior to this discovery, scientists and astronomers believed that lightning was a phenomenon only experienced on Earth. But just recently, a group of astronomers discovered a lightning strike in deep space near galaxy 3C303. Where did this lightning come from, though? A black hole. Yep, you heard that right. Researchers have identified black holes in deep space that are so powerful that they shoot out bolts of lightning. Number 5, a planet with 3 suns. The conventional models of star systems have made us believe that these systems usually just orbit one star. Take our solar system, for example. All of the planets orbit the sun, meaning it's a simple system with just one star. But what if I told you about a newly discovered system with not 1, not 2, but 3 suns? The GW Orionis is the first triple star system ever discovered in the universe. You can see 3 dusty orange rings with 2 of the stars locked in a binary orbit, while the third swirls around wildly. Almost all models, theories, and research predicts that such a misalignment in a star system is always because of a large Jupiter-sized planet inside one of the rings. And if that's true, it's possible the GW Orionis is the first circum-triple planet ever. Number 6, spaghettification. When an unlucky star ventures too close to a black hole, just the sheer gravity alone shreds the star into thin strands that look like spaghetti or yarn. And for the first time ever, scientists have seen this happen about 750 million light-years away from Earth, when a black hole weighing 30 million times the mass of our Sun destroyed a star. The footage you're seeing on your screen right now is an animation of what this must look like, and boy, black holes are really messy eaters. Number 7, G237, Galaxy Shipyard. Looking at the G237 protocluster through the James Webb Telescope is like looking at a shipyard where galaxies are being assembled. And just recently, astronomers were able to locate a humongous structure that was created when our universe was just 4 billion years old. In these large protoclusters, gravity is so strong that it pulls together different stars, planets, and gases to form galaxies. And even though we are basically looking at the past when we see this magnificent structure, it's still a sight to behold, as this is perhaps how the Milky Way was also created. Number 8, ancient galaxy. If you thought the G237 protocluster was old, wait till you hear about JGSZ 14-0. This is the oldest galaxy ever found. Thanks to James Webb, and believe it or not, it was created only 300 million years after our universe. Now I know what you're thinking. 300 million years after our universe, that's still quite a long time. But in space-time, that's nothing, considering how it takes these colossal celestial structures nearly billions of years to form. Another really interesting thing about JGSZ 14-0 is that it's a little too bright and dense for a galaxy lying at the edge of the universe. What that basically means is the star formation rate during the early period of our universe was much more rapid as compared to now. And as researchers continue to dig deeper into JGSZ 14-0, who knows what else we'll learn about the ancient wonders. Number 9. Pandora Cluster. The James Webb Telescope is an engineering marvel, and trust me, I'm not trying to throw any shade at the Hubble, but the JWST is literally unlocking new secrets in our universe. Take the Pandora Cluster, for example. Due to its ability to capture infrared rays, James Webb was able to take such a stunning picture of this cluster. But upon closer look, there were some forces, possibly due to massive black holes in the galaxies itself, that acted as a magnifying glass. Astronomers were able to spot galaxies that were only 650 million older than our universe. But it doesn't end there. James Webb has spotted some tiny bright specks that might be stars or galaxies lying beyond these ancient structures. Provided we keep searching beyond these horizons, it's possibly we might just come across a celestial body as old as our universe. Number 10. Youngest space objects. Enough about these ancient galaxies, though. Let's talk about something new and fresh. Protostars, ladies and gentlemen. After being positioned towards 30 Doradus, James Webb managed to spot some protostars. These stars are so young that they're still in the process of gathering mass. This is both interesting and terrifying because, in a way, researchers will get to see these young stars grow into massive giants. But at the same time, no one knows how massive they're going to grow. Plus, it'll also allow us to understand gravity better because as they grow, they'll also shape the nebula. Don't worry though, they pose no risk to us since they lie way beyond in deep space. Number 11. Invisible barrier. A lot you might not know, but our galaxy actually acts like a giant particle accelerator. It shoots dense cosmic rays out in the universe at the speed of light. And when researchers decided to map out these cosmic rays, they discovered an invisible barrier protecting the Milky Way. See, just like our galaxy shoots out cosmic rays, it also has to fend off the same coming towards it. But upon mapping the incoming rays, they just disappear after colliding into an invisible object. Astronomers still haven't been able to predict what this invisible barrier is, but a lot of them think it's because of the monstrous black hole lying in the middle of Sagittarius A. Number 12. A space bomb. The biggest space explosion ever. It's estimated to be 10 times brighter than any supernova out there. The light from this space bomb reached Earth after 8 billion years, and what that means is this explosion happened when our universe was 6 billion years old. Researchers have been studying this explosion for more than 3 years now, and the alarming thing about that is most supernovas only last 2-3 months. Even the largest explosions ever go dark after 100 days, but for an explosion to be letting out light for 3 years. That's crazy. I mean, just imagine if there's a shock wave or some force still out there making its way to Earth. Number 13. The biggest optical illusion ever. Finally, something worthy in our own galaxy. Astronomers spotted 2 gas clouds side by side in our Milky Way, almost acting as a bridge between the Taurus and Perseus constellations. Even after being studied through the strongest telescopes ever, it appeared as if these 2 clouds were intertwined in a cosmic love story. But it turns out, it's the biggest optical illusion ever, as the distance between them is around 500 light-years wide. So, along with being an illusion, it's also a 500 light-year space cavity. Number 14. Mysterious hut on the moon. Is this an actual hut, or is the moon trolling us with lunar clickbait? China's billion-dollar rover spotted this strange object almost looking like a hut on the far side of the moon. Researchers think it could just be another one of the moon's boulders, but judging from the picture, it doesn't look anything like that. Now, it'll take the rover a couple of months to reach this strange object, as it has already started heading in that direction. Get ready, guys. Maybe there's a secret hut on the moon. Number 15. Extraterrestrial visitor. Remember that strange, invisible magnetic field we were just talking about? Well, it turns out there are a lot of forces in our galaxy that shield us from extraterrestrial objects. So in a way, these forces are actually good, since they prevent the Earth or any of our stars from getting hit by a comet or asteroid. But just a couple of years ago, scientists were able to observe the first ever extraterrestrial visitor passing alarmingly close to Earth. 21 Borisov caught everyone's eye as it zoomed through our star system at around 196,000 miles per hour. It's the first extraterrestrial visitor ever observed by researchers. Number 16. The Galactic Center. What I'm about to tell you next might come off as a surprise. Remember that massive black hole at the center of Sagittarius A? Well, even though it's about 270,000 light-years away, we can actually observe the flow of matter being swallowed inside. And while researchers aren't sure when, it's going to swallow Sagittarius A as well someday. Studies so far show that the supermassive black hole at the center of our galaxy is not actively gobbling up space material. But actually, black holes can just wake up and go on eating frenzies, so let's hope that never happens. Number 17. Young supermassive black holes. The JWST has identified several young supermassive black holes in the UHZ-1 galaxy. It's estimated that these young giants have solar masses ranging from just 1 million to maybe 10 million. But why is this an important discovery? Well, in the same galaxy, James Webb also has spotted black holes with a solar mass of up to 1 billion. So it's almost as if UHZ-1 is a breeding ground for black holes, and finding young black holes basically means we'll be able to study how they turn into such colossal monsters. Oh, and it'll also help us understand the sleeping Sagittarius A at the center of our galaxy. Number 18. Brown dwarfs. Not all stars are created equal. Some are actually brown dwarfs, or in other words, failed stars. See, brown dwarfs are different. They aren't all bright like their celestial siblings. They're dark and barren, and it's because they never achieved fusion. Believe it or not, even Jupiter is a brown dwarf and has no light of its own. Put it this way, these stars couldn't get an internal fire going, and they'll eventually go cold someday and spend the rest of their existence as a failed star. Number 19. The coolest stars ever. I'm going to tell you about some stars that are so cold that you could actually touch them. Scientists are calling them Y-type stars, and what makes them different from other planets is that their temperature is only a few hundred degrees Celsius above zero. But wait, aren't these just planets, just brown dwarfs? Number 20. Hotter than the sun. I'm sorry, but space is confusing. I was just telling you about brown dwarfs and Y-type stars, and now I'm going to tell you about a brown dwarf literally hotter than the sun. The temperature on this failed star is about 2,000 degrees hotter than the sun. Number 21. Darkest, but one of the hottest. It's the darkest planet ever discovered. It absorbs 97% of the light shone on its surface, and chances are you'd never spot this planet, even if it got super close to our system. But what's interesting about HAT P7b is that even though you're not able to see it, you'll definitely feel it, since it's one of the hottest planets ever. Number 22. Super Saturn. If you thought the rings of Saturn were huge, wait till you hear about J1407b, aka Super Saturn. This planet has a system of rings just like the planet Saturn in our solar system, but the only difference is
by clearing out the material in their orbits.
J1407b rings are 640 times bigger. And by now, I'm pretty sure you have an idea that space is beyond our imagination, but this makes me wonder, how are rings so colossal in size even created? Number 23. Beyond comprehension. Allow me to further blow your mind now. Here's a ring system so massive that it would make Super Saturn look like a speck of dirt.
Universe, and their ultra-large sizes.
While J1407b rings had a circumference of around 90 million kilometers, it's absolutely nothing compared to this ring's massive circumference of 4 billion light-years. Number 24. Dwarf Planet Series. Unlike most dwarf planets, Ceres is perhaps the unique one out there. It's not like your usual boring dwarf. Ceres is in our own galaxy and is located in the asteroid belt,
a structure so huge that it shouldn't exist
between Mars and Jupiter. The stunning planet boasts massive craters, mountains, and rugged landscapes. Number 25. Ultramassive black holes. Supermassive black holes are pretty scary. I mean, just imagine something that sucks light and matter and weighs 1 billion times more than our sun. Wild, right? Well, what if I told you they aren't the biggest object in our universe? Ultramassive black holes are the most massive objects in our universe,
biggest currently known to exist,
weighing as much as 10 to 80 billion times more than the sun. And unlike supermassive black holes, ultramassive black holes are rare, and their origins still aren't clear. Number 26. Comet Lovejoy. You see this comet grazing our sun? There's something so bizarre about it that you could never guess. There's a reason why it's called Lovejoy. This comet literally left behind a trail of ethyl alcohol, the same thing in booze. And that's not all, there were organic molecules on this comet, including a type of sugar as well. Plus, a lot of UFO enthusiasts believed the reason why Lovejoy grazed the sun is because it was intended for us. Number 27. Behind all the dust. Despite being the most powerful telescope ever built, even the James Webb telescope can miss things. An example of that is the Aztec C71 galaxy. This ghostly galaxy is just 930 years older than our universe, but that's not even the reason why I'm talking about it.
It was proposed that a red dwarf star lies.
This galaxy was extremely difficult to locate since it would appear and disappear after every little while. It took scientists quite some digging around to finally realize that the galaxy would hide behind cosmic dust. Number 28. Unknown objects. The discovery of dark stars has left researchers shocked. 85% of our universe is made of dark matter, and now scientists believe even dark stars are made of the same material.
A few billion light years of Earth, and concludes at Maisie's galaxy.
But what are these dark stars? Are they just stars that absorb light? Well, I wish they were, because, as of right now, researchers have no clue what these are. Number 29. Celestial phenomenon. Even though the Crab Nebula was first spotted in 1731, it still continues to amaze researchers till date. This celestial phenomenon was born after a supernova, an event marking the death of a star. But this isn't just a nebula you're looking at, it's actually a detailed image of an intricate yet turbulent event frozen in space. Number 30. How fast are we expanding? Prior to the Webb, researchers and astronomers thought our universe was expanding at a rate of 67 kilometers per hour. For decades, they thought this number was correct, but it was later discovered that this figure is wrong.
Hubble's law states that the farther away a galaxy is, the faster it appears to be moving away from us.
The universe is actually expanding at a rate of 73 kilometers per hour. Well, it turns out both these numbers are wrong, since Webb discovered something else. Anyway, that's it from today's video, folks. So what do you think? Will Perseverance find signs of ancient life on Mars? Let me know in the comments below. Please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more interesting content in the future.